So something I've been thinking about a lot recently is the handling of color and art direction um, within within games. And in this project that I've been working on, I've kind of been avoiding doing art on it, just because I've been learning so much else in terms of blueprint and visual scripting and all these other things that you know, I just haven't gotten to it. But one thing that I know is that for me to be able to make all of the art that I want to the quality that I need to do things differently than I normally do. And I was looking around and I found an article from the creators of Dead Cells, which is one of my favorite games, and how that they have been handling the ambience and color and things like that within their environments using gradient maps, which I've worked with before. So I'll link this article in the description as well. But one of the really cool things that they're doing beyond just mapping gradients to background objects is handling a lot of their color values kind of through a spreadsheet, right? Which allows you to get all of your color information in one place, and allows you to handle your art direction in a really interesting way. You're not diving deep into a bunch of individual materials and messing with too many parameters, right? You're kind of setting up these color palettes for your different zones, and allowing yourself to kind of map that to everything. So what I've done here for this scene is the same thing. I created a little kind of blueprint utility actor that I just placed in my level, and by changing the color palette name here, we can see that it's affecting pretty much everything in the scene. I haven't set it up to work with these particles yet, but I will. I'll get to it. But yeah, right now you see, it's affecting the fog, some foliage actors, the landscape, everything. Um, and eventually I'm sure I can even get it to hook up to the sky and things like that as well. Um, so the way that I'm doing this is um, I'm using material parameter collections, which are, pretty much the same thing as this over here, right? It's just a collection of values um, that we have within our material parameter collection. These are all vectors, so they're colors, and we can also add scalar values as well if we have a reason to. So this is the parameter collection for green. And if we look at our basic here, the master material for my basic gradient, which I'm using an instance of on my background objects here, all of those rocks, you can see that I've got a reference to the material parameter collection color palette ue1 here. And that's kind of like my master material parameter collection, that I'm changing the values in. So we've got primary ue1 and primary ue2. Right now, that's really all I'm using in this material here. And then in the color palette actor, right? Um, on construction, right? So anytime that something happens with the actor, I change the value or whatever, it will kind of run through whatever it needs to do. And in this case, if we select the green color palette, we're getting the values from the green color palette and then setting those on our master, the color palette material parameter collection here. So we're just running through those 5 different values. And then we're also getting all of the height fog actors within the level and setting those to whatever value we want. In this case, I just chose secondary. Um, and eventually, I can always do things with lights or particles or whatever else I want as well. So I think it's a really cool way of approaching things and will allow me to iterate on my spaces and really work out like how I want each of my zones to look, while reusing a lot of assets, which is pretty important to me on this project. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you learned something here today. I hope this was useful, and if not, I hope you think it was at least a little cool, because I get really excited by this stuff. So yeah, thanks for stopping by.